Despite the security situation in Bayelsa State, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, is assuring residents of Bayelsa effective security during the governorship elections in the state. During a meeting with Governor Doyediri and Bayelsa Monarch, he reiterated the neutrality of the police. Our correspondent Ovieteme George has details.
The Inspector General of Police first arrived at the Bayelsa State Government House, where he met with Governor Doyediri. Predictably, Saturday's governorship election dominated conversations during the brief meeting of Nigeria's top cop and the chief security officer of Bayelsa State.
The police and other security agencies have taken a position to be neutral in this election. Our job is to provide security for the election. The police has responsibility to protect the rights of all citizens, including the right to free democratic expression in election of public officials. And we are committed to discharging these duties without fear or favor.
We are ready to work with you very closely as a government and even provide support where you ask for to ensure that we do not lose any life and we do not have anybody maimed. We have the police, the more we have the military, it will actually underscore the fact that our voters, rather than having apathy, will actually turn out thinking that they are safe in the presence of the military and the police. Conditionally, as the police and the military will be neutral and will do a professional job to ensure a free, safe, and peaceful elections.
Kayode Egbetokun later met with members of the Bayelsa Traditional Rulers Council, where he restated the neutrality of the police while seeking their support.
My concern is not about Bayelsans dying, it's about Nigerians as a whole. And like I said, if there is sufficient deterrence, I can tell you that no talk will see a red-eyed policeman that is ready, has gotten the instructions and is ready to do his work. And then, if it is me, nobody will dare me.
The Inspector General concludes his itinerary via a visit to the Bayelsa State Police Command, where he spoke with journalists.
The police, assisted by other security agencies, are deploying adequately for this election. Criminals will have issues with the presence of security agents because from Wednesday, the security agents will start dominating the whole state. It is not to intimidate anybody, the voters. It is to give them confidence.
Egbetokun also called on officers and men of the force to remain apolitical and professional in the discharge of their duties on election day. Ovieteme George, Arise News.
So joining us now is His Royal Majesty King Bubaraye Dakolo, Chairman of the Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council. King Dakolo is also a retired Nigerian military officer. Great to have you, as always, sir. Yesterday, we had a guest here.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Yesterday, we had a guest here, the spokesperson for the PDP, and he raised alarm as regards, thugs amassing weapons to disrupt the elections, and he called on the security forces. I want to juxtapose that cry with this, your meeting with the police chief. Do you feel safe about the election process, sir?
Well, I think that it is neither here nor there. The police chief has promised that this time it will be far better than ever before. And please close that door. And so we believe him. He's a former police, a former Mopol chief and all of that. We believe him. However, from history, from the facts that we've had before, from previous experience, we have our fears as well. Because in the past, for instance, people have been maimed, people have been butchered, people have been killed, people have drowned. In the past too, INEC had a humongous budget for security for the election. But how many boats did we see? I doubt if INEC has even one boat. And the police here, do they have up to 50 gunboats? Do they have up to 60 flying boats? Those are the facts here. The preparation for the riverine from time is minimal. So even if it deploys all the police and all the soldiers and all of that, do they have boats to access all the communities in southern Niger that is entirely riverine? Do they have boats to access the whole of Nembe LGA and Brass LGA and Ogbia LGA and Ekerema LGA, all these places that require boats? Do they even have swimming police enough? Do they have swimming law enforcement enough to go to these places? Those are the questions. Now, in the past, some young men, I believe that about 98% of the state is ready to go in for these elections. However, there may be just 1% or so who may be ready to take the laws into their hands. And in the past, they have done so. For instance, someone maims, someone kills, and then at the end of the election cycle, he is promoted. He is given Prado Jeep. He is given some largesse, more like saying thank you for a job well done. Because he is not arrested, he is not arraigned, he is not brought to trial. Never has an electoral offender who has killed, who has maimed, who has snatched ballot boxes ever brought to trial. That is what they know. So for them, this is a new Christmas season. And where citizens of Bayelsa State are not even ready to be part of this violence, people go as far as to neighboring states to procure merchants of violence, bring them into the state, bring them through the creeks, and then they cause crisis. So, well, the Inspector General of Police has promised that it's going to be different. I'm taking him by his words. I want to be sure that there's no violence, that everybody votes. However, if it happens otherwise, again, he will be written, his name will be written amongst others who are in the past who have not been able to deliver on their promise. I hope he delivers on his promise.
Well, beyond promise, Your Majesty, the usual flashpoints, Nembe, Ekeremo, Brass, Southern Ijaw, in every election season. But the Council of Traditional Rulers, which you lead, issued a statement saying that you have intelligence reports that some politicians are preparing to cause mayhem on November 11. As a council, which you share, has he shared this intelligence report with the Inspector General of Police, even if you have doubts about the commissioner in the state? And then going further, who are these politicians that the Council of Traditional Rulers is saying are the ones who want to cause problems? Which political parties do they belong to? And can we attach names to these politicians?
Thank you so much. I have not raised that alarm. So there are traditional rulers at different classes. I'm chairman. And so I have not raised that alarm. However, there are apprehensions that people will procure some violence. Unfortunately, the moment with the IG was not more than 20 minutes, and so that was not mentioned. However, he promised that he may return before the election day. If he returns and we have a one-on-one, we'll tell him the flashpoints. Yes, less than 2 weeks ago, some party faithful somewhere was butchered, I think in Nembe LGA, and in the past, Southern Niger, and even Brass in the last election, and most of these riverine areas have been violent. So those are places that law enforcement who have trained experts are supposed to prepare for. If you've been bitten by a scorpion somewhere and you're going to put your hands there again, you should expect that there may just be a scorpion. And it's better that at the end of the day, there is none. So the preparation should be that Southern Niger, they will be everywhere well ahead of time so that the materials will get there safely. They will have their own boats. But right now, there are doubts if they have their own boats. And you see, the truth is that the politicians are not even really to blame. They are exploiting the weaknesses of law enforcement. They're exploiting the fact that they are able to do these things and get away with them.
We'll take a short break and then restore audio connection with His Majesty Dakolo. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to the morning show here on the Arise News channel. Our guest is still His Royal Majesty King Bubaraye Dakolo, Chairman of the Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council. Your Majesty, can you hear us from the studio in Lagos now?
Loud and clear, please.
Okay, we lost audio connection with you earlier on. The last that I heard, you were saying, well, maybe the politicians should not be blamed. It's for the law enforcement agencies to do their work. And then the audio went off at this end.
Yes.
Please, if you may return to that point you were making about the situation.
Yes, so as I was saying, if we have 99% of Nigerian citizens ready for the election, and then a small 1% who are habitual lawbreakers. They did it last election cycle. They did it the previous one. And they've never been arrested and arraigned and tried and jailed. So there is no deterrence. As a matter of fact, they feel that they will get promotion by being violent, by being disruptive. And so the emphasis should be on law enforcement at all levels to do their work. Like I asked earlier, how many boats do they have? How many boats has the Nigerian police in Bayelsa State? How many do they even have? How many boats do they have in the entire country? As I know, they do not have enough boats as compared to vehicles, to land vehicles. So it also puts them at some kind of disadvantage. Are they swimmers enough? Will they want to go on boat to all the riverine places, to Fropa, to Agay, and so on and so forth, without fear of getting drowned? These are the factors. Long and short is that once there is any disruption or attempt at disrupting, law enforcement should be proactive enough to get those people apprehended and ensure that it does not end after the elections, to ensure that at the end of the day, they are sent, they are tried, and then they face the full weight of the law. That is deterrence. Anything short of that will just be blowing hot air, and at the end of the day, no one is held accountable. This not holding people accountable is what is reinforcing this bad behavior every election cycle. Okay.
I'd like to ask you, as the traditional ruler, the deputy governorship candidate, Mr. McIver, said some things, killed people. What's your take about all of that? During a rally.
What did he say? Sorry.
He said some people.
What did he say?
He said, make we kill them. Some people that don't agree, And he was speaking about the elections. He talked about killing people and putting them in the brass water river. The video is viral.
Okay.
What would you say about that?
So this is what I'm saying. If someone says so to the hearing of you who is in Lagos, or you who are in Lagos, why wouldn't law enforcement do its job? That is not for a traditional ruler to do. That is for law enforcement to do. We have a constitution, we have laws in this country, and the laws should take their course. That is the way it works. There should be deterrence for anything that is against the constitution of our land. Once, even as king, if I do something that is against the law should be triggered to take an action. So that's what I think. It is not about signing peace accord. It's not about saying I won't do anything. It is about someone going to behave, because he knows that if he misbehaves, there is a penalty, there's a price for it. That is what Nigerians want to see. That is what I want to see as well. There has to be a price for doing what is wrong, what is against the Constitution. As traditional rulers, as you know, we are more in our palaces and around our kingdoms. We don't go to these rallies, and so we don't hear these things. We may hear some as rumors, and I'm not supposed to come and peddle rumors here. But if you heard what you said you heard, then of course the direction is to ensure you as a public citizen, as a citizen of Nigeria, could also ensure that the police top hierarchy gets to also see and hear, and then they are caused to take the right action that will protect all Nigerians. For me, it pains me that every election cycle, 1 or 2 persons are killed, sometimes not even 1 or 2, sometimes dozens of persons are killed, including law enforcement personnel are killed. And at the end of the day, nobody is held accountable. Nobody is brought to book. So as a matter of fact, that is what they call negative feedback. You reinforce that particular behavior as what should be done. And so maybe this time more persons are looking forward to committing such crime so that they will get the benefits of committing such crimes and walking away free.
Well, Your Majesty.
But we discourage and we condemn any such rhetorics. Nobody should make any statement that is inflammatory. Nobody should go and sponsor violence. I believe they will not. Although in the recent past, I am privy to the military arresting some civilians who had illegal weapons. And I heard they were handed over to the police. I don't know how far that has gone. So most of the time, people are apprehended with illegal weapons, and then a day or two later, a week or so later, they are walking free. So it's been a cycle of people who are living above the law. And if you're above the law, you want to keep being above the law until the law tells you that you are not above it. So we want the law to show that nobody is above it. And that should be seen in this particular election. So I'm taking the Inspector General's words for it, that this time it will be different. He said deployment will start today, and we are going to feel it from today, and by Friday it will have gotten to that point where we are all sure that it has been done.
Your Majesty, there was a tape that was shown earlier this morning of retired military officers in Bayelsa State calling for peace. You are a retired military officer. Are you aware of that? Were you part of it? Because I saw a video showing Rear Admiral Jonah, yes, retired.
Okay.
Are you part of that? And then secondly, Governor Doye has been there for a while. What is your assessment so far of his performance?
Okay, very quickly for Bubaraye, John Jonah, and the retired officers, it is a call to duty. That is patriotism, calling on all involved, all parties, to not to take to violence. And then, of course, for law enforcement to also be proactive to prevent the maiming, killing, drowning of anybody in this particular season. So it's a noble thing to do, and I applaud them for that. On the assessment of Doye, I believe that everybody will say, except you are biased, that he has done creditably well, has done well. But as you know, I've worked with him very closely, and I'm very conversant with all the things that have happened in recent times, all the, what you call it, commissioning that have been going on up till yesterday. So there's no doubt about it. And as traditional rulers, we are supposed to encourage anybody that is doing well to keep doing well. We work with those who are in authority to maximize the benefits of democracy. And that is what we've done, and that is what he stands for. As Doye came into office, clearly we saw a difference, the tranquil peace compared to the far past. So he has done quite well, and I believe that all things being equal, most persons will want to gravitate towards him to have another 4 years. I believe so. It does not also say that other contestants are not there. They are there, and they have people who will vote for them as well. But what we want, essentially, is that there should be a level playing field in terms of security so that everybody will come out and vote without intimidation. It is intimidation and the fear of maiming and the fear of dying that is the issue. And that is why we are saying law enforcement should be proactive. Those monies that are deployed for security should be used effectively so that at the end of the day, everyone that wants to vote will come out and vote for his choice. I remain non-partisan, but I have eyes, I have ears, and we'll do that which we should do in this cycle.
I'd like to take you on that sub. You just say you remain non-partisan, but what you just did, some people say is an open endorsement of Doyediri. Are you endorsing Doyediri? And some people will also...
Well, you asked me a question.
Hang on a minute.
No.
Let me finish, Your Majesty, please. Some people will also tackle you on the fact that... Take, for instance, there's no potable water, pipe-borne water running across Bayelsa. And there are still a lot of projects that they feel Doyediri left undone. So are you saying that other people too cannot bring better development than Doyediri? And is it because you work closely with the traditional? Is it an open endorsement? That he's not perfect.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Bayelsa State has been here for about 26 years. The pipe-borne water, if there's no pipe-borne water 26 years after, Doyediri just been here for 3 years. So how come there was no pipe-borne water running 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago? Those are the questions. So my saying, you asked me a question, how well has Doyediri done? We're expecting me to say that he has not done well when he has. So he has done well. You are not comparing him to anyone else. If you compare him to God, I will say, well, God does better. So who are you comparing him with right now? So that is the question. I'm not saying that nobody else can do better. Well, people could do better. But let's see them. And you know that in electioneering, people look at pedigree. What do you have to show? You've been around this world for 30, 35, 40, 45 years. What do you have to show? What is your track record? Those are the basis for comparison. So if you ask me a direct question, it behoves on me to also give you a direct answer the way I know it. So I'm not openly endorsing Doyediri. I'm just evaluating based on your question.
Well, thank you very much, Your Royal Majesty, King Bubaraye Dakolo, Chairman of the Bayelsa State Council of Traditional Rulers.